Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for Everyday Guys. So today we're going to be talking about lasers, and I wanted to time this video as such because tomorrow, the 24th of August, Olight is launching one of their ridiculous sales, and I'm pretty sure by the 25th there are going to be a lot of people in South Africa who own lasers, or shall I say BALDRs. The BALDR Mini is going to be like 40% off, and I wanted to talk about laser light combinations in this video, just so that people who decide to buy those sort of things and buy into it understand what they're buying into. There's a lot of misconceptions about lasers going around the YouTubes, and the more videos I've watched about it, yes, I do watch videos about the things I review as well, no one seems to be saying the things that I want to say about lasers. Okay, so before we get into where I think lasers are useful, I've got some range footage with some range opinions, daytime range opinions that I want to roll in here, and you can have a look at it, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about where I think laser light combinations are useful. Lights on lasers or laser light. I've got the BALDR Pro here by Olight, but I want to discuss certain things that people may forget about when it comes to putting a laser on a light on a gun, and certain myths. For example, as I'm shooting it today, it's a really bright day. I'm always first going to use my primary sighting system, my laser. If I can access my primary sighting system, be it irons or red dot, that's what I'm going to use. A lot of people think once they go laser, all of a sudden the irons and the dot become null and void. My laser is a backup. I'm also always going to have my laser and light on at the same time. The laser has to be powerful enough that it can withstand the light that the light creates. Otherwise, if it gets washed out, it's pretty much a waste of time. There's no point really in buying this if you're going to run with just the light. You might as well just get yourself a PL Pro. The myths I want to sort of debunk here is, guys, first of all, laser doesn't make you accurate. Your accuracy is going to depend on sight alignment, the fundamentals of pistol shooting accuracy. A laser is going to point out where the round supposedly should go. Something you have to understand is if you zero your laser for 10 meters, it's going to have a point of aim and point of impact at 10 meters. If you are at 5 meters, if you have 20 meters, that point of aim, point of impact changes. A lot of people on YouTube seem to be saying where the laser goes, the bullet goes. No, where you zero the laser at the same distance, that's where the bullet's going to go. A misconception is where the laser goes, the bullet goes. Straight out of the box, guys, these are super easy to zero, but also understand your zero is distance specific. A shot at 10 meters for a laser 0 to 10 meters is going to be dead accurate. A shot at 100 meters, you're really going to suffer on accuracy. We're talking about EDC ranges, 3 to 7 to 10 meters. There's no point showing great nighttime shots of how that laser can pick up a object 150 meters away unless you're running it on a long gun, and that's a different story, and that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about EDC purpose only. Now, straight off the bat, the BALDR Pro is a reliable laser. I know a lot of people want to see a drop test. I'll roll that in. Everything seems to be functioning perfectly. Does it allow you to pick up your sight quicker or the laser quicker? Yes, in certain situations, like if it's a bit dark outside. On a super bright day like this, I'm going to be using my irons or my red dot, simply because they are my primary sighting system and I've trained to use it. The laser is a backup, and not even a secondary backup, a third backup for if your irons and your dot fail, which the likelihood of that is virtually zero. Now, when it comes to nighttime, it does become a different story. I'll switch the studio and we'll I'll explain the nighttime uses or concept of lasers. Okay, so with that said, let's just talk about the BALDR Pro quickly. Okay, as far as weapon mounted lights, laser / weapon mounted light combinations, this is probably the most highest spec unit on the market right now. We're talking 1350 lumens, nearly 17,000 candela. To put that into perspective, The Surefire X300 Ultra is 1,000 lumens and 11,000 candelas. So as a spec warrior type thing, if that's what you're looking out for, this is probably the best spec laser light or even weapon mounted light combination on the market at the moment. Now, a lot of people say don't buy Olight, Chinese company, whatever. I really don't care. My only purpose for this channel is to put good quality gear into the hands of everyday guys. If you can afford the X300 and different variations of such with lasers and the stream lights with the lasers, that's great. But here in South Africa, those things cost nearly twice the price of the Olights. And in terms of survivability, in terms of specs, they don't really improve on the Olight. Now, to be honest with you, I don't own an X300. I would like to spend a few months with an X300, but the things, firstly, they have to be imported. That in itself is expensive, and then the light itself is expensive. Like X300 is nearly 6,000 Rand. For those of you watching like overseas, 6,000 Rand for many South Africans, for the average South African, is like a half a month's salary, right? So that's a lot of money to fork out on a weapon mounted light when you've got different brands offering better prices. So Olight, no problem with Olight. I don't care who the manufacturer is, as long as they are manufacturing a high quality, reliable tool that functions every time you press the button and is survivable. And Olight seem to have that formula down pretty well. Now, where I think the laser light combination is effective, sorry, before I get into that, this light has a little flick toggle over here, right? All the way to my right is light only. Center is light and laser, and all the way to the left, my left, is just laser. Olight, you can remove, as far as I'm concerned, the all the way to the right aspect of it. Okay, if you're buying a laser light combination, as far as I'm concerned, there's pretty much only one setting it should be running in, and that is light and laser. And there might be some occasions when you just run it as a laser, but more often than not should be light and laser. Now, where this really comes to the fore is at night. Say you have something like this. Now guys, this is a 19x training pistol. It is not a real gun, and even so, it is empty and safe. Trigger is depressed, we're good to go. So you have something like a 19x, right? And it's got the standard sights on it like you see here. These are not, or at least this training pistol doesn't have nighttime illuminated sights, right? My EDC pistol has a red dot on it, so you'll get what I'm talking about in a second. At night, if I don't have sights that function at night, having a laser light combination does make a bit of sense to me, because you might not be able to pick up your sights as well as you can pick up the green dot on the laser. Now this brings me to my second point. The laser has to be visible at EDC distances, say 10 meters, even when the light is on. The light must not wash out the laser. Otherwise it's completely useless. Okay? If it is so dark that you can't see your sights, you need light. If the light is there and it washes out the laser, there's no point in having the laser. If it's so dark that you can't see your sights and you're using your laser only, well, all you're going to see is your laser dot. You're still not going to know what you're shooting at. You're not going to know what's beyond it, right? That is why pretty much at nighttime, which is where I think this makes sense, is the only time that I would use something like this. And I know a lot of guys do run it as like a nightstand setup. Makes a lot of sense, okay? If you don't have a red dot and you don't have night sights, or sights that illuminate in low light, then having a laser really does help. And the strange thing is, with the light on, the laser functions a lot like what a red dot would function, okay? With a red dot, you are threat focusing or target focusing. With a laser, you're technically doing the same thing, and it looks exactly the same, except the laser is green and the red dot is well red. So 100% makes sense there. Now what I will do is roll in some nighttime footage of me using the BALDR. I just want to stress, while I was filming this, the firearm was empty and safe. Don't worry about that. Finger was kept off the trigger following all the safety guidelines. So as you can see the green laser at EDC in-home distances while using the light. And that for me is where this becomes a functional tool. Running the laser on your firearm daytime. Let me take you through my mentality behind using my firearm in real life. The threat is perceived to myself or an innocent person. I make the conscious decision that I'm going to have to use my firearm and lethal force in order to protect my life or the life of an innocent person, and the threat is imminent or in progress. I draw my firearm, I acquire my sights, I extend, all the while mentally asking, is that threat still imminent? Is it still in progress? And is it still a threat to life? If I get to the apex of my draw stroke and all the answers is yes, I squeeze the trigger, it goes bang, and I then get a second sight picture and reassess. I'm not a firearms instructor, I'm not a lawyer, so don't follow what I say. Everything on channel is an opinion, nothing is a recommendation. That's my mental process. At no point in there was a press the button and look for your laser. During the daytime, I'm using my irons or my red dot because that's what they're there for. At night, however, it might be a different story. Rumbling in the night, go to my firearm with my laser light attached. Now, if I don't have nighttime illuminatable sights, night sights, or a red dot, and I question whether I'm picking up my front sights as well as I should, then I would use my laser light combination. Now, I would very rarely use it in constant on, okay? I would use it in short bursts, search in light, move in darkness. You know the layout of your own home, guys, right? So you don't need that light on all the time. But if I do see a threat, I want that laser and my light on that threat so I can make an accurate shot. Also, guys, zeroing. Zero your laser accordingly. As I said in the range video, zeroing your laser for 10 meters does not make it accurate at 100 meters or even 50 meters or even 20 meters. It's not going to go where the round isn't going to go where you think it's going to go. So be cognizant of that. Check when you start using lasers and red dots, distances begin to play a factor because you zero them for a specific distance. So understand point of aim, point of impact is distance related. And then finally, I just want to get into the specs of the BALDR Pro. So we're looking at a 1350 lumen max setting. As I said, nearly 17,000 candela. You saw in the nighttime footage a beautiful hotspot. Candela for me is the bigger deal. The more I learn about lights, the more I learn about the disorientative capability of light, the more I begin to understand that candela is what you're actually looking for over lumens. I don't mind an 800-900 lumen flashlight. Give me 30, 40,000 candela and I'm on board. I see a lot of videos where guys sometimes say they don't understand why an 800 lumen flashlight sometimes looks brighter than a 2000 lumen flashlight. While what you're talking about there is that 800 lumen flashlight is probably a high candela flashlight. And candela is the light intensity at the point. And if you think about it, that light, when it hits your potential bad guy, stops at that point. So I want 20,000 candela in his face at that point, right? Candela is really beginning to become my go-to thing when it comes to weapon-mounted light. Functionality is the same as your PL2 Valkyrie PL Pro. One click for on, one click for off, press and hold for constant on, press both buttons for strobe and double tap and it will dim to 300 lumens. I don't know why anybody would use that. Olight, two things. One, I think you can do away with the ability to put it on light only. You can also do away with the ability to lower the lumen count. You know, if you're using this defensively, you want all the lumens, you want all the candela, right? Maybe make it a bit cheaper and smaller. Talking about smaller, the BALDR Mini is here and it is in the sale tomorrow. Now, I haven't got my hands on a BALDR Mini yet because I believe it's sitting at customs. That is what it is, guys. I will try to get the review out to you as soon as possible, but what's going to happen is I'm going to get the BALDR Mini. I'm going to send it immediately up to the guys at Southwest Holsters to have a holster made. I'm then going to EDC it, live life with it, and tell you what it is like to live with a light laser combo. The one thing I do want to look at is, if you look at the BALDR, right, the front or the bezel is forward of the end of the muzzle. Now, when you fire a round, GSR is ejected from the front of your pistol. Okay, I would like to see on the BALDR Mini, which has the laser inside the reflector. I would like to see if that GSR, that gunshot residue, settles on the actual glass, if it affects the laser, and after how much shots do you have to clean it. As you know, well, I don't know if you know this, but when I test things, I don't do any additives. I don't put any Vaseline or any nonsense on there. I run it as a stock standard, how I get it out of the box. And if I need to, I take it off and I take my finger and I wipe it a bit, simply because I don't carry Vaseline as part of my EDC. Okay, and I don't want to add Vaseline to part of my EDC. If it's meant to go on the front of a pistol, it should be able to survive multiple shots without being completely blocked. That comes down to design intelligence. Now, with the Balder, you have the laser underneath the front of the light, so this should never really get blocked by debris. So a lot of sense there, but it'll be interesting to see how the Balder Mini reacts. Guys, onto the sale. Just quickly, I'm not going to go through a lot of these things. It's like 40% off everything. It's the Elite sale. It's one of the biggest sales of the year. It's one of those sales where I don't really know, like, I really don't understand the sale in terms of, like, sure, they must be losing money. The reason I support the sale is because it's putting quality gear into the hands of EDCers like you and me. And that's really all I value. I don't care who the supplier of that gear is, as long as it's quality gear at an affordable price. If Surefire comes here and chucks in a massive 40% sale, guess what? I'm going to tell you about it as well. Now, Olight doesn't like me doing this, but I tend to tell people, contact me before buying something from Olight, and I'll tell you when the next sale is, and if you can hold out, it makes sense. If you do want to support me back, you can do so by using my affiliate link. I will leave it down below. It doesn't affect anything you do, but it does give me a little kickback. Full disclosure. That goes right back into the channel. That range video you saw, I have to book out that whole range. It costs a lot of money. The ammo costs a lot of money. So everything I pretty much do with that kickback, shall I say, goes back into me creating these videos. So guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week, I'm on the range with James Smart, and we're looking at the best use of 50 rounds for training purposes. Very interesting video. I actually filmed it today. It's going to be based for the normal everyday guy, 99% of the population who don't get to the range every single weekend and dump out 2,000 rounds, who have time, financial constraints, so they need to get the best out of every single round. That video is going to be absolutely outstanding with a ton of information. Check it out next week, Sunday. Guys, the Olight sale is the 24th to the 28th from 8 o'clock in the evening until 8 o'clock in the evening. If you're watching this on date of release, it's tomorrow at 8 until 28 at 8. Jump on it if you're looking for flashlights, tactical flashlights, weapon-mounted lights, that sort of thing. The BALDR Pro, I believe, is also 40% off. A useful tool for your bedside setup. The BALDR Mini might become the new EDC light of choice, considering it has a laser built into it. I'm going to get my hands on it. I'm going to do my usual review process where I live with it and train with it. And then I'll give you guys a review. That's it, guys. Have a good week. I'll see you in the week for a vlog where I announce the winner of the Manka flashlight competition, the Manka and Imminent flashlight competition. That's going to be in the week. So keep an eye out for that if you have entered. Good luck to you guys. I'll see you soon. Have a good week. Cheers. God bless.